What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Danny the Bull, back with another live stream, and you should be bullish. You should be bullish. If you've been in this space for as long as I have, you've been here during the bear market, you should be bullish because we're starting to see signs of life in alts. Alt season is right around the corner. We're seeing a lot of big caps make some pretty big gains. We're going to talk about what to expect in the next part of the cycle because it is the part of the cycle that we all came here for. All right, it's alt season. It's right around the corner, and you should be bullish. We're going to talk about what type of gains we should be expecting out of low caps, out of the bigger caps, and, kind of get our mindset right for a phase of the market that is unlike the market that we have been in. All right. As the market changes, our strategies have to change. Our expectations have to change. And I've been getting a lot of text messages, DMs from people saying they're seeing, ADA run. They're seeing XLM, Stellar Lumens run. Why aren't their coins running? Why aren't their low caps running? And to understand why, you need to understand the cycle, right? It's Bitcoin, it's big caps, mid caps, small caps. And we're starting to see those bigger cap coins start to run, those older coins from last cycle, ADA, Polkadot, XLM, like I said, VET. We're seeing those guys move and make, nice moves, pretty big moves. And what can we expect next? Good things. So let's see who we got here. We'll talk about some alts. We'll talk about some crypto news. We got Jomi in the house. What's good, brother? What's good? Jordan Riz, Walshy in the house. How are you? Will there be one alt season or more? We'll talk about how alt season has historically played out. And, what we've learned over the last year is don't bet against the cycle. The cycle has done what the cycle has done in the past, okay? We had a run up. It was a little different this year because Bitcoin hit an all-time high before the halving because of the ETFs, but we had a run up into the halving, a sell-off, sideways action on Bitcoin, altcoins bled, started moving in October and then really ran after the election. Bitcoin reached new all-time highs approximately 200 days after the halving, just as it's done in the previous cycles. And now, just as previous cycles, we're seeing the bigger cap coins start to move. So don't bet against the cycle, and what's next is alt season. We'll talk about how it's played out in previous cycles and what to expect and what strategies we should employ. People are talking about 150K or more Bitcoin, and others are talking about alt season soon. We need 155K. No, we don't need 150K Bitcoin before. All right, and we'll talk about that. I've got some slides and stuff prepared. Russ in the house. Danny looking at Tectum at some point today. Can you share your conviction, please? Yeah, absolutely. I know about the soft note, but do they have the copyright? Will someone else do it cheaper? They do have the patent for the soft note. So that is their technology, their patent. I will talk about my conviction and my thesis on Tectum and my conviction on, I'm really bullish right now, guys. I don't know if you can tell, but looking at numbers and the data from last cycle and what happened from the November prior to alt season until the peak of the market, when you look at what happened and how, the micro caps, the smaller cap coins moved, the good ones I'm talking about, all right, you can't not be bullish at this point, especially when you consider that we have a perfect storm for a beautiful bull run, okay, with a crypto-friendly government in the United States, right, as a complete opposite of what we've had, a government that's been persecuting the space and, regulating through enforcement. So we have that. We have rate cuts that have already started that will continue effective. I think the next one is in January. We can expect more, 25 basis points rate cuts and inevitably, money printing. And so combine those two things with the cycle itself, and we're gearing up to perhaps have a total market cap of, $10 trillion crypto market. So money's going to flood in. We're starting to see signs of normies come in. I've had multiple family members talk to me. 100K Bitcoin has made a lot of headlines. My father, my father-in-law, my brother, my brother-in-law, Sal from the pizzeria, he's buying XRP and HBAR and something else. And so it's here, right? The what we've been waiting for is now arriving. Waldo in the house. What's good? G Money in the house. I am not in OMI anymore. I sold a few months back. We'll go through it later. Bring this up again later, Waldo. All right, when we're looking at coins, because I have some things I want to go through. Please share your expectation on Mint Layer. 100%. I will share my expectation on Mint Layer. I'm going to star these two comments and come back to them a little later. Base Labs in the house. All right. Thanks, B-Dubs, for the super. Everyone, yes, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's talk about things. All right, so we've got, first of all, Bitcoin sitting at 97.5. Yesterday went as high as 99.8. All right, I think it was $140 away from $100,000 Bitcoin, a six-figure Bitcoin, which is surreal, right? People have talked about this for a long time. It's kind of surreal to see it play out, but here we are, and soon it's going to blow past 100K, right? We're very early still in this cycle, and it's going to go even higher. All right, and I talked about this crypto-friendly environment that we're entering in the United States come January when Trump is inaugurated. Gensler has already stated that he is resigning on, I think, January 20th, right, resulting in XRP going up some more. But, I think we're going to get a flood of stories like this. Donald Trump could create first cryptocurrency role at the White House. So they're talking about a crypto czar in the United States to help, create common sense regulation and bring, this technology, make the United States the forefront, at the forefront of this technology, which of course this is the, financial hub of the world. And so this is bullish for the overall space. Senator Loomis is pushing for a Bitcoin strategic reserve. We've heard talks about this, proposing a gold sale as a funding source. All right. So Trump talked about this at the Bitcoin conference in Nashville. Bitcoin touched 70,000 on the heels of it. You're going to see more talk of this over the next year, possibly getting it into actionizing it. And these are catalysts that we're going to have over the next year that are going to push this market. We talk about how other countries are going to follow suit when this happens, right? It's going to cause FOMO on a country level, right? We're not, it's one thing to have FOMO from, your friends buying a bunch of stuff. It's another thing when countries are buying. And so when you start to see countries talking about adopting Bitcoin and adding it to their, adding it as a reserve asset in response to the United States, right? This is on a whole other level. And this was kind of the whole, this has been talked about as a major thesis for Bitcoin for years. All right. And now we're seeing that narrative play out in real time, timed perfectly post-halving. We got Donald Trump selected a pro-crypto Scott Bessent as Treasury Secretary. Again, super bullish. especially when you juxtapose it, when you put it side by side with the former administration, Janet Yellen, who has done nothing but demonize crypto, right? So we're going from Janet Yellen talking about Bitcoin funds, gangs, and criminal activity to a pro-crypto Treasury Secretary. So get ready. Bitcoin has flipped Saudi Aramco. It's flipped silver. Google and Amazon are next. It's going to be a top 5 asset. It is the fastest asset to get to $1 trillion market cap in history. And it's going to get to a top 5 pretty soon. It's not going to be not much more of a move up to flip Google and Amazon. All right. So all of these things are playing out in real time. And when you look at, we talk about normies coming in. You look at Google Trends search history of Bitcoin. This is over the last 5 years. It's at an all-time high. And this is Google Trends search of meme coins, also at an all-time high. So the meme super cycle is coming. And, you know, the super cycle, the alt super cycle that people have talked about is on its way. We talked about some of those big guys moving. Solana hit a new all-time high. XRP up almost 200% on the month. Dogecoin, of course, has been up over 200% on the month. Cardano up 200% on the month. This was bolstered by the fact that Charles Hoskinson has reportedly been tapped as for some form of a role or advisor at the White House. You got Tron up 30%, but you're seeing these older coins, right? These second cycle, third cycle coins moving, which is good. Don't worry if the low caps are not moving, because this is how it plays out, right? It's predictable. Bitcoin first, big caps second, right? Avalanche up 60%. And then money trickles down into the mid caps and smaller caps. Look at Stellar Lumens up 400%. I think they have a partnership with Visa. This is a third cycle coin, right? XLM came out in the 2017 cycle, didn't reach all-time highs last cycle, didn't get back there, but is getting close to its last cycle high. You know, I don't mess around with these things. I like the smaller caps. I think there are bigger gains to be made there. And I'll explain why. It's because if you look at, so I went back and I analyzed some of the coins that performed well last cycle, the small caps that performed well. And I looked at where they were right before, Altseason, which was November of 2020. And I looked at how they performed over the next 12 months. And just for reference, because we ask ourselves, what's Rio going to do? What's Mcade going to do? What's Tectum going to do? What's Mint Layer going to do? Naka, what are these small caps? How are they going to perform? 10x, 20x, etc. So let's take a look at how last cycle's guys performed. And let me zoom. Let me make this bigger. All right. So again, this is pre-alt season. And when I say pre-alt season, I mean right around where we are now in the cycle. Okay. Solana was $2.27. It went on to do to $258, did 114x. VeChain was a little over a penny, went to 23 cents, 18x. Decentraland, 8 cents, went to $4.71, a 59x. Chili's, less than a penny, went to 65 cents, a 541x. ADA, which was in its second cycle, 10 cents, went to $3, a 30x. Near Protocol was sitting at $1, went to $20, a 20x. Ergo, I just picked a random coin in the top 200. And I landed on Ergo, which was in its second cycle at 50 cents, went to $18 for a clean 36x. Theta was at 60 cents, went to $13.43, a 22x. XRP, another second cycle coin for reference, was at 32 cents, went to $1.55, a 5x. Polkadot went from $5 to $53. Had already gone on a bit of a run for a 10x. So just for reference, of the winners last cycle, this isn't from bottom to top, right? Because if you go bottom to top, you're talking about, 1,000x on Solana, right? I think it started less than $1. A lot of these were, Mana was less than 8 cents if you had bought it 6 months prior to this or whatever. So not top to bottom, not, beginning of the cycle to the top of the cycle. This is pre-alt season to all-time highs. And these are the multiples that were put in. So when people ask, could, Devi do a 10x or a 20x? Absolutely. Devi can put in a 50x from here if, not that it will, but if everything hits, right? Can TET put in a 50x from here? Absolutely it can. Mcade, whatever your small cap is, if it's in the right sector, if it has the right marketing and, the elements come around it and the narrative hits and, it catches fire, 20x's in play, 30x's, 50x's, and even 100x's from this point in the market are in play. And I looked at also historical snapshot. Again, this is at the peak of last cycle. All right, this is a historical snapshot, peak of last cycle. If you look at it, there were, for reference, 121 coins went to approximately 120 coins, went to about a $1 billion market cap, right? The magical B, 120. If you look at it pre-Altseason, right, where we are now, it was at 23. All right, so from $23 billion coins, it did like a 5x, 6x. So right now, if you apply that same, if history repeats, which again, don't bet against the cycle. Right now, there are approximately, I'm going to round up, 99 coins that are at about $1 billion market cap. So I think we could see about 600 coins hit $1 billion. All right, 600 coins. And if you look at the top 600 coins now, you're talking about coins that have a $50 million market cap, right? Coins like Tectum, like Rio, like Mcade, which is a little below this, right? Getting into that $500 million and higher. And I talked about this in a previous, so a few months back, I speculated on this. I think my math might be wrong here. Oh, wait. Let me go back. That was $1 billion. Yeah, to get to $500 million, there were 275 coins. Got to $500 million market cap last cycle. Right? 135 got to $1 billion. So this cycle, you could see about 400 coins get to $1 billion market cap and 750 at $500 million market cap. All right, so now you think about things like Mcade, which is at a $30 million market cap, Tectum at a $50 million market cap. Will these things get to $500 million, $1 billion, more? I think it's, very possible that many of them do. And the multiples they put in from here, again, are going to look like this. You're talking 30Xs, 20Xs, 40Xs, 100Xs. Which ones do these numbers? We don't know, right? But if you're spread out across sectors, right? If you're in the hot sectors, which are AI, I think gaming will be there, meme coins. If you catch some good layer ones, RWA. If you are spread out across those sectors and have some solid picks, chances are you're going to hit some 20, 30, 50 X's, right? And that doesn't mean that you're going to hold them to the top. And we'll talk about some of them. I know some people have mentioned mint layer and stuff like that. I'm going to talk about those. But we're not in alt season yet. This is where we're at. Let me refresh this. And the last stream I did, so we were like, I think when I was on live with Ron last, we were at like a 33 on this heat map. And now we're up to a 41. Alt season's up here over a 75. So we're heating up. We're going to continue to heat up. And I mean, my speculation is December, January, we're going to get into this alt season, right? This overheated zone. And last cycle that went from, so if you look at last cycle, this is last year. Let's look at last cycle. Yeah. So last cycle started in November. Or started a little early, October here. That's 2019. Sorry, hold on. Kind of a little screwed up here. Here we go. Oh, that's right. 2020. Yeah, this is 2020. All right. Hold on. Give me a second. July. Here we are. My bad. So last cycle started here in January at 40. We were at 41, right where we're at now. And you see it crept up through March. And then March of 21 through June, 2 months in that crazy banana zone. All right, so it creeped up from January through March for 2 months, and then went crazy for 2 months. So if it played out in similar fashion and we continue this uptrend, we could go up, slowly for 2 months and then go nuts for a couple months. And then, Jomi, to your question earlier, last cycle, it gets scary. Right after that 2 month period, it plummeted, right? Crypto went down and stayed down in the summer, came back up in September, and finished it off in November. Actually, Alts peaked in January of 22. We had a double top last cycle. So we could see something similar this time around. We could see slow, steady up on alts, get into alt season, stay there for a couple months, have a cool off period where it gets really scary, and then have it resume. So when we're in that overheated zone, it's a good time to take profits, keep money on the side, and start realizing some gains, because we came here to realize some gains, right? Don't forget why we're here. It's going to be hard it's going to be hard to sell, right? But you got to come up with an exit strategy. And as you hit certain numbers, DCA out. But I'm bullish. We're getting closer. Let me go through some of these comments. Danny, your portfolio is soaring with double-digit gains in all your coins in just 24 hours. Feels good, man. And not all of my coins are. A lot of my coins are flat because I hold a lot of things like, let me look at my portfolio here. I mean, a lot of my stuff is still not moving. So, but it feels good seeing the market move. B-dubs, do you think we'll have a decent dip before the bull run? I think Bitcoin will have a dip. I mean, it's impossible to say, but I think alts, I think we go slowly up, but we'll see. You know, it's a very volatile space. I try not to predict day to day, week to week. My thinking is we're gearing up a bit. We had a long period of consolidation on Bitcoin, and the market's ready to move. Remember, we're going to have Trump's inauguration in January. Gensler officially resigning. So I think you're going to have a lot of bullish sentiment in January. Combine that with, you know, another rate cut. Don't want to miss the bull run holding Omi. What do you think? Oh, let's see. I'm going to get to some of those questions. All right, let's get to some of the questions. Yeah, mint layer. So Aziz says, please share your expectation of mint layer. I like mint layer. I talked about it a few times, but this is the right type of micro cap that can do big gains. Let's look on the yearly. It's down, right? Like the chart looks very similar to a lot of other coins. It's at a little under a penny, 10 cents, a little under 10 cents. Keep in mind that last year it was at 4 cents. All right. So it went from 4 cents all the way up to over $1 in a very short amount of time earlier in the year. So on December 8th, where was I? Yeah. So early December, it was about where it is now, 10 cents or so. Went all the way to over $1. This was the daily close. I think it got to $1.30. So they move fast. And I like mint layer because it's a Bitcoin scaling solution. I think that Bitcoin's going to continue to be a narrative this cycle. Mint layer is unlocking the potential of Bitcoin by exposing it to DeFi, tapping into Bitcoin's liquidity. It's a side chain for Bitcoin. It's created by a Bitcoin maxi. It's got OG Bitcoin, people involved with it. And they're going live in January, I believe. Their DEX, Atomic, is about to be unleashed. And this is going to unlock Bitcoin and the liquidity in Bitcoin to the RWA space, the bonds market, eventually real estate. So it taps two narratives for me, Bitcoin and RWA. And it's an ecosystem play. So I like those sorts of plays. I think it has the potential to hit $1 billion market cap. And it's currently not at a $6 million market cap. It's currently at, oh, it just happens to be up. It's currently at 15 million, but take into consideration that it will have some dilution. So adjusted for dilution, the market cap is 30 million. So this is something they haven't really done marketing yet. Their product comes out beginning of 2025. This is something that I think could potentially, we could see it at $1 billion market cap, which would be a 30x. And that would be about a $3 mint layer. And it could go higher, right? Or it could go lower. You can't predict what's going to do what, but you have to look at the potential of things. So I like the potential of mint layer. If the marketing comes through, there's token awareness around it, I think it can do well when the Bitcoin DeFi narrative heats up along with RWA. So my expectation for mint layer is it's got the potential to be one of those that 20, 30, 50 X's. Whether it does it or not, I don't know. But I like it also because the staking rewards on it are 58% right now. So you can stake your mint layer and it's really easy to stake. And I'm earning like a 60% yield on my mint layer, right? So, and that's annual yield, right? Not like weekly or anything like that. And they also are going to be airdropping tokens to atomic tokens to stakers. So I like mint layer. If I have some dry powder, it's one that I want to beef my position up in. So no, I'm not. I haven't been in OMI. I sold it a few months back. I've explained it. I hope it does well. I'm not someone who sells something and then hopes it goes down or roots against it. I'm rooting for it. I know a lot of people who hold it. I want them to do well. Why I sold it was a couple reasons. One is it's a second cycle coin in an old narrative. Okay. I prefer first cycle coins in hot narratives. It's a second cycle coin in an old narrative with a team that hasn't done what they said they were going to do, right? They didn't deliver the way people expected. It's caused a lot of negative sentiment. And I think this chart is a result of the sentiment. It's not a result of the environment, right? Because when you look at, this was a $2 billion coin, okay? Keep that in mind. Fully diluted, this at its peak, this is a $4 billion coin because all the coins are in circulation now. So if it got back to a penny and a half, which is where it was, it would be a $4 billion coin. If you look back at coins from last cycle that were $4 billion in market cap, whoops, give me a second, and look at how they're doing now. This is Gala. It's back over $1 billion. They're all coming back. This is Decentraland. No one's playing Decentraland. This has, but look at the yearly. Look at the monthly. It's up 70%. But what does Decentraland have? It's a second cycle coin in a dead narrative, the metaverse. But what does it have? It has token awareness. So retail knows it. Retail's buying it back up. It's got exchanges. Right? Look at ApeCoin. I don't like any of these coins. But look how they're performing. And ApeCoin is up 10% over the last month, but prior to that, it had a big move. It went up. It did a 100% move from the bottom to its local top. So there are those billion-dollar coins from last cycle that have token awareness, that are on exchanges, that are being carried up by the market. OMI's not being carried up by the market. And that's because it's still a community coin. They never built out token awareness. They never got on major exchanges. And when the community then starts feeling frustrated and they're bag holders and they want to sell at certain price points to get out of it because they're afraid they're going to miss the boat, you end up seeing a lot of sell pressure. And that's what you get, right? Every pump, it pumps and then sells off immediately. It pumps, sells. It looks like in the last week, it's been holding this level, which is good, right? So at least now it's holding this 0003 level, and hopefully it stays above this. But my thinking is when I look at coins like this, the returns, as a second cycle coin in not a hot narrative with a team that has created a lot of FUD around them, they could end up being like a 5Xer or a 10X. You know, a 5X from here would put them back at 001, 002, which is a big, you know, resistance area. And I'm not saying that's where it tops out, but it's got the potential to top out at 002. And when I'm looking for small caps, I'm not looking for 5Xs. You know, I'm looking for minimum 10X. If I don't have conviction that it can 10X, I don't want it. If I'm taking on the risk of a small cap, because I can take on pretty much no risk and bet on something like Render, or bet on, you know, I could take on no risk or minimal risk with Solana and do a 3 to 5X. You know, I could take on minimal risk with Cardano from here after its pump and probably get a 5X out of it. Or Caspa. So if I can minimize my risk and get 5Xs and possibly 7, 8Xs out of big coins, why would I put it in a small cap that could potentially underperform them? And that's just my objective. I'm not saying that'll happen. That's just my objective belief and how I see it. But we'll see how it plays out. Like I said, I hope it does well. I hope it goes back to all-time highs, and I hope people make money off of it. And I'm not ruling out the fact that maybe they'll pull a rabbit out of a hat, and you know, maybe the NFT cycle comes back, and maybe, I don't know. But I just don't have conviction in that anymore. So let's see what else. B-dubs, do you think we'll get a decent tip? I already answered. We talked about that. Tony Smith's always talking about Jasmy coin, and I still don't know much about it. I've literally just realized it now. I'm going to check Chuck out, and also Devi. Heard it's good. Yeah, let's look at those. So Devi was punished, and Devi was a mistake that I made buying it when I did, and it was in hindsight, right? I mean, hindsight's 2020. I bought it right when it went live, right in the peak of the early alt cycle that we had at the beginning of the year, and I bought it high. I think my average price on this is like, I want to say now I've averaged down. My average price on this, I'm still underwater, is like 50 cents. But I think it'll go past that and blow past that. You could see it starting to come back. It went as low as 16 cents. And I bought a bunch at 16 cents and 25 cents. Now it's at 33 cents. It's been as high as 42 cents recently. It's been volatile. Maybe you'll get good entry in the 20s, but I think Devi's a good buy. I like it as a layer one, a potential strong layer one, because these can get to billion-dollar market caps. And now the dilution is over. It had a lot of dilution. What you're seeing in this $25 million market cap, that's legit what it's going to be for the next year, right? You're not going to get diluted and the market cap coming up because of coins entering circulation. So a 10x to a $250 million market cap is light work for a good layer one. Can this get to 500 million? Absolutely. When you consider that you're going to see potentially 750 coins get there this cycle. Right? So you don't even need to be a top 100 coin to get to a $500 million or top whatever. And I think in its sector as a layer one, like Mint Layer, like Tectum, these can go into the billions. And so it's a high reward play for me, right? Does it get there? I have no idea. It'll depend on marketing and catching attention, right? But it's got the potential. I like it. Let's take a look at Chuck. And there we go. And Chuck is also holding strong from its bottom at 0016 back in October. We went as high as almost about a half a penny when Coinbase put out their tweet, might be Chuck. We went to half a penny, and now we're sitting at, this is a little bit of resistance, got to get above it, 003. But we had a $32 million market cap on Chuck. Currently at $3 million market cap. And again, when you talk about a meme super cycle, when you talk about the base ecosystem, and when you talk about the fact that we're likely to get like 1,500 coins hit $100 million market cap, I like the potential of small meme coins with strong communities that have withstood the test of time. I'm heavily biased on Chuck, by the way. I run the socials, all right? I speak from the account. But from a fundamental objective standpoint, I think it looks solid. One day I'm going to look at Jasmine, Tony, and I'm going to talk about it. Good morning. Their meme is used by Binance Futures. Good morning. What's up, Happy? I'm not familiar with it. Yeah, I think absolutely gaming, I think, is going to run. It had a run. It's been, it hasn't run as much since. We've seen signs of life with it, though. And everyone that I know has a gaming bag. It's going to run. Everyone I know has a gaming bag. And when you look at catalysts, that's not it. Where is it? Here we go. My friend Kyle Wilson retweeted this. Just an off-the-grid All-Stars tournament starts in 10 minutes with a $600,000 prize pool. Includes big streamers, I guess. These guys are big streamers in gaming. When you talk about off-the-grid potentially being the first Web3 mainstream gaming game, when you talk about GTA, 5 coming out later in the year, the catalysts are there. Everyone I know has a gaming bag. I think AI outperforms gaming, but I think gaming does well. I think it might not run first, and you'll see rotation from sector to sector. So you might see AI run, who knows, maybe RWA, whatever runs. What people will then do is look for sectors that have not yet run, and they'll bid them up. They'll front run them. And then it'll gain momentum, and then people start chasing. And that's how it's going to play out over the next few months when Altseason kicks in. It's going to be sector by sector. They're going to run at different times. I absolutely think gaming is going to run. And I think that Mcade is going to do well. I wanted to talk about Mcade, and we could talk about other gaming projects. But Mcade has performed very well over the last month. It's up over 100%. You could have copped the bag at 0065. And at that price, people were selling. People were fearful. I was getting DMs from people saying, Will, what's going on with Mcade? Is it going to go up? And I used to tell them, well, look at every other gaming project. Look at all of our altcoins. Don't look at it in isolation. If everything is down, then there's nothing wrong with that asset. If they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, if the community is grinding, if it's in a hot sector, there's nothing wrong with it if everything is down and it's down along with it. But people were bugging out, right? And now, it went up to 2 cents, came back down, and I see people being like, why is it going down? Because it's profit taking. Okay, you need to understand the space, but Mcade has done nothing but deliver. And last week, I have notes here. Russ had an AMA yesterday. So just in like the last couple of weeks, they've announced a new pairing in Aerodrome, which is the top. It's like the it's the top DEX on Base Network, right? Aerodrome, it's like a Uniswap, but it's the one with the most volume, right? So they're going to Aerodrome. They've top 10K holders. That's just on Base, right? Not including the OG ETH holders, myself included. I've not yet migrated my tokens, and I should have done it before ETH gas prices have gone up. They've done $1 to $6 million in trading volume a day. They've got 100+ people playing in their tournaments. They've partnered with Superverse, Elio Trades. That's his company. Russ was in a space with Elio Trades last week. And so the one fear that I had with Mcade was that they wouldn't have, it's a crowded field in gaming. There are a lot of gaming projects, and they'd get lost in the crowd. There wouldn't be like token awareness. They quelled that fear a few ways. One, they migrated to Base Network. So instead of being, a small fish in a big pond, they're now the biggest gaming ecosystem on Base Network, which is emerging as one of the main narratives of the cycle. They've ramped up their ambassador program. They've got Cryptic Poet on there. They've got about 10 different ambassadors. I'm one of them. But I would have been talking about Mcade, and I've been talking about them for a year, right? So being an ambassador hasn't changed anything. But the fact that they are now ramping up marketing and they're timing it with the market in November. You can do all of these things when in August or September and people were yelling and screaming to do these things. It makes no difference if you're fighting against the market. It's like fighting the ocean. It's too powerful, right? So they waited and they ramped up their marketing. And so I do think gaming's going to come back. In addition to them, I think Naka is going to do well. Naka has a confirmation from the market. It's been look at Naka over the last month. Mcade's been catching up to it. Naka's at a $90 million market cap. I hold both of these. It came out at the end of last cycle, so it's kind of a second cycle coin, but not really. I don't really consider it one because it wasn't here the whole time. But it had a nice run up it was down as low as a quarter and it went to $3. So I think it blows past $3. I think you could see a $20 Naka. That would put it at a $2 billion market cap. For me, that's what I would like to see out of it, at least a $20 Naka. But there are plenty of other coins, right? There are plenty of other gaming projects out there. The problem is pick a good one because it is a diluted game. I like ecosystem plays. That's why I like Naka. I like Mcade. I liked Miria. I sold it. I made a good profit on Miria. At $60 million market cap, it's probably a solid buy. It's up now over the last week. It's up 20% over the last month. It's flat, but it went to, it's about 80% down. I think this was like it was close to a $200 million market cap. Alex Becker holds it. He's going to push it. You know that, Becker's going to come back into this market hot and push things. Myriad, I don't think they have a game out yet, but it's another ecosystem play similar to Gala. And when you get comparisons, it's a very narrative-driven, obviously, space. And people look at comparisons, and Gala went to $4 billion last cycle. So could these guys, the big ecosystem plays, the winners, go to $4 billion this cycle? Yes, I think so. And just be selective with your gaming picks because, again, it'll be cluttered. Seems like retail came back. Yeah, bought their 2021 dinosaur bags. But ADA also has, again, like Charles Hoskinson is now, when you're buying ADA, you're buying him. And like him or hate him, and a lot of people hate him, he's got a big presence in the space, and he'll continue to find ways to keep people interested. And so he did that by saying that they were pivoting to Bitcoin and tapping into like the Bitcoin liquidity, which is what MintLayer does or aims to do. And there's now talk about him as a White House consultant. And so ADA is a solid older coin. What's good, Base Slab? Faceless says Mcade and Shuck. Let's go. G Money. And I don't offer condolences. Nothing is dead. If you've learned anything in this space, Luna went to 0 and then came back and did like 100x, I think. Do you remember that when Terra Luna last cycle, people bid it up as like, and look, Terra Luna is at 50 cents. Is this true? This is wild. So nothing is dead until it's 0. That's first and foremost, right? So what's good? Cash Games, big Mcade guy. They also own Chuck. I haven't checked about that Foxy. Tony shilling that Jasmine. 100%. Make sure to take profits. Come up with your strategy. Danny, do you still have your Solana bag? How much of it are you still holding at this all-time high compared to the beginning of the cycle? I rotated out of Solana. I already rotated out. I had a big bag. Ideally, I could have held on to it longer and done better. But I rotated some into things like Rio at 10 cents, which have held up really well. I got Miria really cheap. That did really well. Some of it I rotated into shitters. But I did really well on Solana. I DCA'd all throughout the bear every week. People were saying that was dead. But my risk appetite is, and my game plan is, if Bitcoin fulfills the prophecy, goes to whatever it's going to 150K, that ETH and Sol will outperform, right? And Sol will outperform ETH, but then the good small caps will outperform the big caps, right? So those are the types of games that I'm after. Jomi says, we don't know if we get another double top on Bitcoin. Will you sell your alts in the first run? I'm not going to sell everything. No, I'm going to I'm not going to bet against the cycle. And right now, the cycle indicates that we peak in, say, October, November of 2025. Right? So you have to expect volatility along the way. If my bag goes up a certain amount, I'm taking profits, and a good amount of profits, because I want to make sure I have a stress-free bull run. Right? I want to make sure that I extract enough money to be stress-free so that when that volatility hits, which will inevitably hit, I'm not left wondering if I missed my opportunity. And then there'll be indicators if this is consolidation, if this is a dip, or if we're on a downtrend. And so follow good people. If you're in Ron's group, and you are, right, those indicators will be looked at and looked for, and we're going to follow the market and see where it's going. And if there are some indicators that indicate that perhaps we're in a downtrend, then we sell more aggressively. But it's kind of like driving a car with your headlights on in the dark. You can only see what's in front of you. And you know where you're going, or you think you know where you're going, but for the short term, you can only see what's in front of you. Expect big dips, even in a bull run. It's called a bull run because the bull will try to throw you off of it, right? So if Bitcoin goes down 20%, you can expect your alts to go down 30, 40, 50%. And that can be jarring when you get to a certain level. So the best thing you can do right now is prepare, learn, study. Walshy. Omi is on base now, or BitGet. It's on, got listed on, it's on base, yep, and it's on BitGet as well. OTK. OTK's been down hard. I haven't looked at OTK in a while. I sold my OTK. This is one that I rotated Solana into and did well. Sold it and put it in something else. It's at a $6 million market cap. It's up 7% on the day. 7 days down 13%. On the month down 32%. It's not one that I love, but at this market cap, at a $6 million market cap, I think it'll come back. I think it'll do well. Gaming does well. It's on Solana. I haven't followed up with them to see what they're doing, but it's a little unique and stands out a little bit because it's on Solana. They have a unique, I think, system in place where they give out free things. I mean, things as like physical items as rewards you can earn for gaming there. So if you bought high and you're just holding it, when alt season hits, there's it's hard to find anything that's, if you remember back here, I want you to remember to what it was like in this mini pump from November of last year to January to March, really, right? It was hard to find something that didn't pump. Shitters were pumping fast. And there was nowhere near the liquidity that there's about to be in the market. So when you talk about coins getting to $100 million, and right now it seems far-fetched, when we get to the time in the market where it's like a crazy alt season, like here, where we get in this hot zone for months, this is March, April, May, June. This is 4 months of up only, just about. Coins do their biggest gains in a very short amount of time. You're going to see 10x's in 8 weeks. And again, just pick a coin. I'll pick Sand. Last cycle, October 23rd, it was 76 cents. A month later was $7. 10x. When alt season comes, expect violent moves up in a short amount of time. You should be selling on a 10x, right? Taking some profits. The biggest gains come in the shortest amount of time. It's a 4-year cycle. Expect 12 weeks of craziness, right? Spread out. 12 weeks of overheated alts, 16 weeks, whatever it is, a cool off period, and then another 16 weeks. It's going to be crazy. No, I'm not holding Omikami. It was kind of sus. I got like a 200. I did like a 2 or 3x on there. Let me see. I got to talk about Tectum still. I see OG Vault down here. What's good, brother? I didn't talk about Blue already. I'll talk about that. Yeah, Sheeb, that's not a bad play. Buying retail stuff right now to flip. It's not a bad idea to, if you're looking for short term, looking at retail favorites and flipping them. And Shiba is a retail favorite. Blue, I have not talked about. There's a lot of overlap with the Chuck community and the Blue community, because this is one that, you know, Ron helped on the tokenomics. So I've been in since day one. And I even help him out with just connecting people and stuff like that. There are already influencers on board. At launched and went straight 3 days of green candles. This is a daily chart. Went to $3 million market cap. Came down. Now just under, where are we? Just under a $2 million market cap. But we saw what happened with Chuck. And I'm not saying the same thing will happen, but just if you look at any, I'll show you Sumi also. This was Chuck. Very similar early days to Blue, right? 3 big days, very long wick on day one for Chuck, right? So the Blue chart over the first 3 days actually looked better. A dip and consolidation for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, about 2 weeks. 2 weeks of downward consolidation, then gradually up, and then up to $32 million. It was crazy, crazy, crazy ride if you were here for it. And then right here, this big red candle is the Mother Day Massacre. I remember it well. And this was spurred by someone full clipped like a 6-figure bag. And someone else full clipped a 6-figure bag. They were, people who had got in, whales who were in early. And then the chart bled out. And now it's coming back. But Blue is early. Right? And small meme coins are hyper volatile. There are influences already attached to it. And if you look at something like Sumi, and I'm all up in these base, I know everything about all these base coins. I track them closely. This is the Sumi chart. This launched in November. And you can see also, well, this didn't get off to us how to start, but a big green candle, downward trajectory, sideways action, and then up. Right? A big move up, big sell-off. Now coming back up. $10 million market cap now. This is how a lot of the base memes perform. So if you're in them, expect volatility. Get to know the communities. if it has a strong community, if they have people who don't cheat the bag, right, who don't do who treat the chart right, you could have a nice run this cycle. Let's see what else. Yeah, I love Tectum. Tectum is like a top 3 bag of mine, and people have been questioning it lately. Again, because it hasn't moved, but you shouldn't expect it to move because it's a small cap. This is a 50 million, now a $60 million market cap. It's performed like others of its kind. It's really been rangy from $10, really between $6 and $10. Yesterday, I bought a bag at $6.80. But this is the kind of small cap I want to be in. Great narrative, Bitcoin narrative, right? Scaling solution for Bitcoin with patented technology, the soft note technology, which is already out there. They have an app. They have partners. Is it really going to change the world? Probably not yet. Doesn't matter. The narrative of Bitcoin, enhancing Bitcoin, scaling it, that coupled with a layer 1 blockchain that does 3.5 million transactions per second, verified. Now you put some good marketing around that, and they have some marketing. And you have catalysts like this here, stable coin partnership with one of the strongest currency countries in the Middle East. And I haven't learned more about that. I need to learn more about it, but I saw it. You've got, I think today, where is it? So they doubled their liquidity on Uniswap. They put another $1 million in there to make it more tradable, more stable. They've got a handful of small exchanges. But this is something that my thesis on Tectum is it could get to, billions, and the market cap could get to the billions. And if it does, right now you're looking at an $8 Tectum. You could see a $400 Tectum, which would put it at right now, let's say $80 is a 10x. That's a 600 million. 80 is at 600 million. It had a $45 all-time high. So $160 is a $1.2 billion Tectum. 20x. I would be disappointed if it didn't do a 20x. Right? I mean, I feel like it should. We'll see if it does. But a $1.2 billion in market cap, again, I think it can go to $3.6 billion. I think it can go to a $5 billion market cap. And in that case, you're talking about a $400 or $500 Tectum. Because layer ones, we've seen what they can do. Polkadot did 50 billion. ADA did 70 whatever billion without smart contracts. They command big market caps. Near went to 20 billion last cycle. So if there is marketing around this that's strong and it catches the narrative, this has the potential to become a top 100 coin, even a top 50 coin. I can see it. Technology-wise, I can see it. Right? Narrative-wise, I can see it. Does it happen? Who knows? But you got to put your chips on the table on some small caps in the hopes of capturing a 50x or 100x or whatever it is. And this is one of my big bets alongside Rio, AI Tech. So, yeah. I mean, a lot of people were blindsided by OMI. A lot of people, myself included, we married a coin. If you marry a coin, you can't think about it objectively. You're too emotionally attached. So what I do And what I did was ask myself, would I buy this now, knowing what I know? Is this something that I would buy? Or would I buy like Rio instead? Would I buy Tectum instead? Would I buy AI Tech instead? And if the answer is I'd buy something else ahead of that, then I sell it. And that's what I do for all of my coins. CLV. I'm not. Let's see. $100 million market cap. I'm not overly familiar with it. Nice chart on the month. Up 200%. And it's dipped. Yeah, I'm not familiar with it. Chart looks good. You should have been here last week, buddy. Yeah, I talked about TET just now. For Rio, Rio went to $4 at its peak last cycle. It went to $3 earlier in the year. I'd like to see at least a $20 Rio. And I've got, let me see. I've got a good breakdown on Rio, if I could find it. Bear with me. It was in one of my streams. Maybe I think it's this one. So here are potential price targets on Rio. My thesis is the good RWAs get over $1 billion market cap. I say that because total addressable market for RWA is in the trillions of dollars. You're talking about tokenizing the whole real estate market. Whether it does that or not doesn't matter. I'm talking about narrative, and the narrative is that RWA is going to tokenize real estate. So when you look at valuations, I think you're going to see them in the billions. So I think a $20 Rio, which is just over a 20x from here, is, I want to see at least that. I think it could go it's crazy. Sounds crazy, but these things sound crazy, right? I think it could go to a $5 billion market cap would be $100. That's 100x. Potentially. And I know it sounds crazy that it's going to go to $100, but again, look here. After some of these coins had already gone up, they did a 59x, 100x, 36x. The potential is there, but no one can tell you what price anything is going to. That's guesswork. No one knows. Potential, it could get up there. If it got to $10, definite, I think would, unless something crazy happens. And there's been some FUD around Rio. But to me, it's unwarranted. Nothing really concerning. They're rebounding nicely. Rio is now at 84 cents, up on the day, I think 20%. Yeah. Price suffered because of migration recently, so people sold out because the migration on the BNB network and ETH network. On the week, up 11%. On the month, it's been rangy. So it's been ranging between 65 cents to about $1 for months. A nice reaccumulation zone. And I think it blows past its local top from earlier this year of $3 and potentially goes to $20, possibly higher. But it's guesswork. Yeah, I talked about Naka earlier. Veracity, I was in Veracity. I like it. I think it's moving now. Yeah, Veracity's up 43% today. $46 million market cap. This was here last cycle. A lot of FUD around this also. Poor communication from the team led to it. Community kind of reminds me a little bit of Omi, but not as fuddy. But last cycle went to 7 cents. So it's about still like 90% down, over 90% down. Does it go back here? Second cycle coin. I'll tell you that 85% of second cycle coins don't go back to all-time highs. So it's not, if you're looking for all new all-time highs, keep in mind that there are people who bought in this area near or at all-time highs and are still holding a bag, and they will put sell pressure on the chart. So at 40, at half a penny, plenty of upside still though. You know, it could still 10x and be half of what it was last cycle. Does it get back to all-time highs? It's possible. Russ is ruthless. Yeah, Russ is absolutely ruthless. Russ goes hard. He wants the token to succeed, and he's not shy about it. And I like that. Right? I like that. I don't like scared CEOs. Johnny Dunn in the house. What's good, brother? Appreciate you. I want to see Johnny Dunn making some content again. What else we got? Yeah, volume on Mcade 1 to 6 million a day. What's good, Corey? Chill Will, what's up? Barra, don't know it. Layer AI. You know, I got out of Layer AI. I think I put it into Mint Layer just because I didn't know enough about it. There was a lot of like FUD, and with AI, sometimes it's hard to know what's vaporware and what's real. But nice run up, 15% today. Been ranging like everything else. But AI, you're going to see coins go into the billions on AI. You're going to see it happen. You're going to see the big caps, you know, Render, which is like Deepin AI, FET, and some of those get into multi-billions. And then you're going to see some of these other AI coins go to billions. So I did hold a bag of LAI. What I did during the last 6 months was just consolidated into my highest conviction plays. But I did own a bag of LAI. And looking at it, I think it will do well. My crypto, not yours. What's good, brother? What's up, mother chucker? Wait till Bitcoin dominance data tops. Yep. It's right around the corner. It's close. We are close. Get ready. Faceless, what's good? Appreciate you tuning in. If you haven't already liked and subscribed, please do so. I'm looking to stream more and also make some standalone content, short vids. So help my channel grow. Have you heard of ZLF? It's the best DEX. No, I haven't. Nope. My eyes are blurry right now. I got something going on in my eye. Can't even read the ticker. ZF. John in the house. What's good? I'm gaming. Do you like WAGME? Well, I wouldn't be concerned that it hasn't pumped just because this, it's doing what everything else is doing. Again, don't compare things. Don't look at the price. Look at it in comparison to others. Is this WAGME? No, that's not WAGME. Is this? This is not the WAGME gaming play, though. I don't know. I can't find the chart. But I did like WAGME when gaming was hot. But I've gone just heavy into Mcade, Naka, some playable games because I didn't want to be overexposed to gaming. But I think WAGME, I haven't followed up with it, but should be fine. We talked about the Bitcoin dominance will fall off a cliff. Thought this would be the time for the altcoins. Yeah, it's coming. No, well, a lot of people get bugged out because their coins aren't moving yet. And they're seeing other coins move, right? But the market is behaving the way it's always behaved. Bigger coins first. Money rotates into mid caps and then small caps. And then all of a sudden, we are in alt season and it's good times. It's fun. It's euphoric. We're flexing on Twitter. So it's coming. Hang tight, Jomi. MFR may have good potential. Is that the meme coin? And meme coins are absolutely, it's crazy. It's going to be crazy, man. When you saw the kid who rugged people for $30,000, a 13-year-old, if that doesn't tell you that we are gearing up, nothing will. Meme coins are going to fly. I want to cover more meme content. Simon says, Sinan, sorry. Mcade Planet, yes, sir. I just got WAGME today to get ahead of next narrative. I think off the grid mainnet launch soon. Yeah, I think that's true. I think off the grid is going to be a catalyst. You also got GTA coming out. It's a matter of time before gaming heats up again. And that's a smart thing, Big A, to get ahead. If you find a narrative, find a sector that you think will be hot, find a good project and accumulate it and wait and sell when it's higher, right? So this is the strategy. This is what I've been doing and many of you have been doing. And now we're getting closer to banana zone, right? We're getting closer to that time in the market when things go crazy. So get ready. Get ready. Alt season's coming soon. And these streams are going to turn into a lot of fun. But I want to thank everyone for coming through. I've been at it for an hour and a half. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. I will catch you again in a few days, and we'll see what's moving then. Have a good one.